10 off-season moves that have happened so far that will have impact on our fantasy drafts, man. And not just the people that were traded or picked up in free agency, man. Everybody around that, dude. So, hey, DK Metcalf gets traded. That impacts Jackson Smith and Jigba. Also, man, I mean, we'll talk about a wide receiver they just signed in the news and brews section, man. So we're gonna hit the news and brews. Then we're gonna go top 10 free agency moves or no offseason moves, and then we're gonna be talking about playing video games. So, anyways, if that sounds interesting to you, stick around, man. Stick around. It's gonna be an amazing show. Super serious research, man. Like 10 hours of research went into this one. So, yeah, hopefully it shows in this. Jason, this show needs help. For God's sakes, dude, just look at me. All right? So please help me out. Jason, tell the public how they can help us.
Yes, you guys, if you're here still listening to us, you guys can always help us out by, sorry, I'm doing like two things at once here.
What the fuck we doing here, man?
You could subscribe. You can press. You can hit the likes. You can leave a comment. Do all that fun stuff. Please. We need it. We enjoy doing this. We need it.
Oh my God, dude. What are you doing here, man?
Let's do it. Hey,
submarine in this show. You're torpedoing this show. Come on.
Hey, man, this working on this never ends. We're also we got Patreon. We're on the radio, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and we also got a thank you button if you guys are feeling friendly. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
Man. Yeah. All right. Well, this is Tyler Big Turd War, Jason the Lucky Bastard. Well, and let's get into the news and the brews. There's only like 3 things, dude. All right, because pretty much this whole show is the news from the last 2 weeks. So Cooper Kupp, man, just signed. Jason spoke about this before we even started recording. 3 years, $45 million. So that's $15 a year, something like that. If I did my math right, real fast. So that's nothing crazy. I mean, we got people making $30 million a year. 35, Jamar Chase, maybe 40. 40 is non-quarterback money now. That's Myles Garrett. So yeah, $15 million. That is a semi-serious investment. Gets to play with JSN and Sam Darnold, 2 slot wide receivers. I think Kupp was in the slot 50-something% of the time last season. So how do you feel about Cooper Kupp going to Seattle, Jason?
I don't like it.
Kind of pisses me off, man, because I was like, dude, JSN's going to get a fucking million targets. There is a chance, man, with a new quarterback, Cooper Kupp hangs out with Sam Darnold more than JSN. They both kind of have the same role. Cooper Kupp stays healthy all year. JSN is a terrible value, and Cooper Kupp will be an amazing value, and vice versa. So, yeah, you're rolling the dice now, man. This just adds another variable that I do not like. I would much rather them just drafted people. I'd have been totally fine just worrying about rookies taking touches away from JSN. Now I got to worry about fucking Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, I don't know if you mentioned this before in the beginning of the fantasy news. Who's going to be the main slot guy? It's got to be Cooper Kupp, right?
I mean, at this point in his career, that's what you would think. And JSN is younger and more athletic for sure, so he should be playing a little bit more on the outside. But we'll see how that goes, all right? And then, Jason, I saw this. The Chiefs re-signed Kareem Hunt, all right? He was my waiver wire pick. I told you guys to pick him up. As soon as Pacheco got injured, I was like, pick up Kareem Hunt. And it worked out. He was pretty good for you last year. Signed a 1-year, $2.5 million. So we just talked about, Kupp making 15. Some other running backs are making 9. 6 seems to be the average. 2.5, man. So that's not that's not good money at all. But Pacheco, where he's going, I should have wrote down where he's going in drafts right now. I did not like him last year, and he actually was doing well. Then he got injured. Man, I don't like it this year. They also got Elijah Mitchell, Jason.
I know, but Elijah Mitchell, the guy who could play, 4 games and then end the season with an injury?
Hey, man, last time I liked Elijah Mitchell, I was watching the Fantasy Footballers. So that was like 4 years ago.
Kareem Hunt, we saw him when he was taking a lot of opportunities, like 20 carries a game, and then that really faded out. Plus, they got Isaiah Pacheco.
But the only thing which round would you draft Pacheco in? Like you would go top? Would you go 5th round Pacheco?
Bro, I mean, he's probably going in the dead zone. Really, there was rumors that Kansas City was going to draft a running back as well. I don't know if getting Kareem Hunt means. Yeah, I don't know if getting Kareem Hunt means they're not going to, or are they still going to add another running back?
They could release him and be $2.5 million. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, Yeah. So I just thought that was interesting. All the running backs they're signing. If they do get one in the draft, Jason, especially one that we like, I will pay attention to that. But yeah, Pacheco's injuries, man, real concern. And then lastly, Bills GM Brandon Beane said that the new Bills defensive tackle Larry Ogunjobi, I hear it on the radio and it sounds good, and defensive line Michael Hoyt have both tested positive for PEDs and will miss 6 games this season. I was like, hey, dude, watch the program. Latimer can skirt the program, can skirt steroid testing. What the fuck, man? Do not do steroids in the parking lot on your way to your new team.
Let the boys play.
All right, dude. Let's get right into this, man. I was thinking about this. If we should start at 1 and go down to 10, we're gonna start at 10 and go to 1, man. Save number 1 for when I'm all the way through this beer. Okay. So number 10, dog. Are you excited to see who it's gonna be?
Yeah.
Rico Dowdle. That's why I said, because I know you're a Cowboys fan. To Carolina, 1 year, 6.25, Jason. And real fast, I do want to say the Cowboys signed Devante Williams for $3 million, dude. Did they watch fucking Devante Williams last year? I did. It was fucking terrible. All right, that guy looked like he had 2 blown Achilles. All right, and now they should have spent $3 million more and just brought back Rico Dowdle. When I saw that he only had a 1 year, $6 million contract, I was like, shit, dude. He probably wanted to stay in Dallas. So, yeah, Jason, do you wish they would have spent a little bit extra money and kept Rico Dowdle?
I mean, this is kind of like very confusing for me because, like, Rico was nice and all. He was very much a volume guy. He when he became the starter from like week 5 to week 18, he like was 8th in the league in carries. So a lot of his stuff was volume, and like the Cowboys at the time, I think they were like top 5 in run block win rate. So he was able to get like 3-4 yards before even being touched, which is great. So that's great for running backs. My thing was, it's like he was horrible at force missed tackles per touch. He was like the only person like he was better than Tyler was like Travis Etienne.
Oh shit! Well, there you go.
So he wasn't making them force missed tackles, nada. But I was like, I don't want them to get him. I don't want them to get anybody really, because I want them to get a running back in this draft.
That's what I was thinking too. And I think they still will, only giving Devante Williams $3 million.
I think they have to still, because Cowboys, Jerry Jones, such a fucking wild card, dude. But I can't believe. I mean, I thought they were going to get a running back last year, so but I can't see Devante Williams carrying the load for this team. I still think they would have to go after a running back.
Yeah, he can fucking. I see him carrying the load. Yeah, dude, get 20 carries for fucking 50 yards, dude, every goddamn game.
True.
I see that. He could do that. But hey, dude. So Rico Dowdle right now going 96th overall. So in 12-man leagues, I don't know, it's like round like 7 or 8 or something like that. I actually kind of like that. Hubbard as running back 34. So he's being drafted as a late flex in 12-man leagues. Hubbard still 41st overall, Jason. Running back 16. If you knew that you could get Dowdle in like the 9th, right? Or you got to pay up to get Hubbard in the 3rd. Well, no, beginning of the 4th. That's beginning of the 4th. Which one would you rather do?
Hubbard still. I think Hubbard, for how much they just paid that guy in the offseason, or did they extend him during the season? Anyway, they just gave him a lot more money.
They gave him money. They did give him a contract, and it was more than 1 year, $6 million.
Yeah, I don't see this being like a 50-50 timeshare. I'm seeing this as Rico being like the handcuff to get in the draft, really.
Yeah, well, so Rico Dowdle, dude, he was running back 13, averaging 13.2 fantasy points per game from week 9 on, and then Hubbard was running back 13 points per game on the season. So given opportunity, they were similar stature, similar production, man, and they both catch passes. What, dude? 5 games of 5 catches or more. He had 4 of his last 6 were 100 yards. It sounds a lot like Chuba Hubbard, dude. So an overperforming backup. It's like they're very similar players. And then Jonathan Brooks, dude, I'm writing off. Fuck Jonathan Brooks. This signing to me just was like, hey, dude, we're going to give Jonathan Brooks an entire year to recuperate, to recover, and then maybe next season we'll bring him back. This is what this signing meant to me.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. I think most definitely they're like, dude, we maybe brought him back a little bit too early, Jonathan Brooks last season, tore his ACL again.
Motherfucker, dude. That motherfucker
Well,
cost me my whole season. I'm kidding. If you banked on him, you're fucked.
yeah, so I think that's a good call. Brought in Rico just for a year. They also let go of Miles Sanders. You know where Miles Sanders went?
I would think he's not signed.
To the Cowboys.
Oh God. Cowboys fans, dude, in shambles. Jason just hit his knees in a Dollar General.
Yeah, but that's a good call, Tyler. I agree with you on that. Absolutely.
I was on the UFO subreddit, and there's this one guy that's like he wears like torn jeans and shit. And anyways, I was like, whatever, just hit his knees in an Ed Hardy, and I got like 300 upvotes.
That's good.
In a UFO thing, man. I was like, oh, thank you. I feel smart. Anyways, let's get on to the next one, Jason, because this one is probably so we talk about hitting on tight ends late, right? And if you hit on a tight end late, it equals more fantasy success, dude, than almost anything. It's crazy. Evan Engram to Denver. All right. Oh shit. I didn't put the terms on here. I've got the contract for everybody else. He was injured, Jason, but on last season, but on a 17 game pace, 121 targets. That would have been the fourth most out of any tight end. You and I both chased targets on tight ends. He was tight end 4 points per game in 2023, a top 5 tight end in 2022. And let's see, dude. And just speaking of targets, man, Sutton led Denver with 135 targets last season. Mims had 52. Their entire fucking tight end group, Jason, 455 yards. All right, so fewer than 26 individual tight ends, NFL tight ends. So their entire tight end group was still worse than 26 individual tight ends in the fucking NFL, dude. So this was huge. When you think about a rookie quarterback, especially like highly accurate, you're thinking about a tight end all the time. They did not have a tight end, man, to throw to last season. Holy shit. They went out and picked up Evan Engram. This is a huge hole on this emerging team. I love Bo Nix this next year. He's a quarterback I'm targeting. So I'm like, holy shit, dude. I can get Bo Nix late. Then I can get Evan Engram late-ish, something like that. That'd be amazing. And then also the team's lead in slot targets, because Evan Engram ran a lot of slot routes as well, was Devon Veal with only 34 targets. So even the slot, Jason, this kind of blew my mind. Over at Denver, 34 fucking targets, man. That was the lead in the slot. So they don't have, for a rookie quarterback, they don't have a short safety blanket. They went out and got Evan Engram. He's going as, did I say he's going as 110 overall, dude, tight end 13. So what, 9th round, you could get your fucking tight end number 1, probably going to be a top 5 tight end. So Bo Nix and Evan Engram are going to be on my top 5. What's it called, Jason, when you have stacks going into 2025?
Yeah, it looks like Sean Payton finally got his joker, huh? They're going to have this guy. They're going to have Evan Engram. They're going to have him running out. They're going to have him deep over the middle. They're going to do slants. They're going to do screens with this guy. Tyler, you mentioned it. They're the tight end with the most targets for Denver last year. Lucas?
Dude, I thought it was Troutman, and like some guy I never even heard of had like fucking 2 more, and I was like, dude,
yeah,
the tight ends are terrible over there in Denver.
And so now he's going to Denver, and let's look at this real quick. I had this stat. Just 2 years ago, Evan Engram had 143 targets and 114 receptions in 2023. So he's bringing that skill level to the Broncos. And remember, the Broncos have the best offensive line when it came to pass protection. And I like that as well. Because now, like, Bo Nix.
Because your tight end doesn't have to block all the time.
He's going to be out there running. So
I think he might be running slot routes, Jason, with that offensive line. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, I don't care what routes he runs. He's going to get his targets, because there's 3 things I thought about when I saw this. First off, I'm like, Tyler's going to want this guy. Second off, I'm like, they finally got their joker. Third off, I was like, remember how good Jimmy Graham was?
Dude, when you said Sean Payton, I was like this, because I was like, Jimmy Graham, man.
Yeah. Not that that's, he's not a Jimmy Graham, but we saw how dominant the tight end was under Sean Payton. And I'm like, dude, I think I'm going to be battling Tyler to get this guy when it comes to the draft season, because there's a potential that this guy could be top 3, top 4. maybe.
Well, I was pushing Cortland Sutton, Jason. I think your dad, some asshole, grabbed him early because I was pushing him out like a newborn baby that I would have loved till the day he died. But yeah, I ended up pushing Christian Kirk as well and got him instead because I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
All right, dude. So yeah, Evan Engram, man. And then also, I do want to say how this affects Britton Strange. Talk about waiting for tight ends, dude. Pay attention to the Jaguars draft, but in all honesty, don't pay attention to it, dude. Britton Strange was a second-round draft pick. When you think about Sam Laporta, I think was a second round, maybe third round. Like Michael Mayer, like very rarely do tight ends go in the first round, dude. Second round's is really high for a tight end. Jason, he was a second round draft pick in 2023. 6 games of 9+ fantasy points last year, and I want to say 10+. It was really 10+ points, but he had like 9.6 on 2 of those games, so I went with 9. But hey, man, we talked about him a lot in the waiver wire show last year. If Evan Ingram's not there, you start Britton Strange. And so Britton Strange, if you want to wait and pick up Britton Strange, new head coach, new everything, I think that might be worth a gamble. He'd need to be my second tight end, though.
Unless I say to start him for that week, then don't start him because that's when he put up goose eggs.
Oh, Jesus.
I remember that.
Any questions or people we need to shout out, Jason?
No, we got Olaf and Corion up in here.
Corion, dude, we'll be talking about one of your main draft fucking targets here in a minute.
Olaf is all about Strange.
Dude, Dr. Strange, man. So, yeah. What's his name still there? Who's their head coach now? Oh, Liam Cohen, man.
Dude,
and shit, Kate Otten, they love the slot in that offense. So who the fuck's gonna be catching the slot passes over there? Woo! All right, man. Next up. All right, Justin Fields, number 8, biggest offseason move for us, or for me. I haven't ran this list by Jason as far as priority goes, but he agreed with most of it. Quarterback 12, Jason, points per game in 2023. That was the last time he was starting with DJ Moore in that Chicago offense. Same as Mahomes, dude. That was the same amount of points per game as Mahomes. So quarterback 12, and that was on the fucking. That was on the Bears, and he got cut pretty much after that year. So people thought he was terrible, and he was still quarterback 12 for God's sakes, dude. That's a starting quarterback. Right now, dude, he's going as 229th overall. So grab him as your last pick. Quarterback 28. This will change. This will change a lot, but right now that's how it's going. Garrett Wilson, Ohio State, dude. And the last thing I'll say, Jason, when Fields was targeting Garrett Wilson at Ohio State, he threw for fucking 1,200 yards, 11 touchdowns, 133 passer rating. The tandem was a home run waiting to happen. He had 22 receptions of 20 or more yards. So I am looking for Garrett Wilson to have a resurgent year. If I can target him, I'm supposed to have where he's going right now, but I don't. Shit. Whatever, dude. It was crazy how much research I was doing on this. But yeah, check it. If Garrett Wilson, Jason, would you get him in the 3rd round?
Bro, I love and I hate this move by the Jets. I've been so bullish on Garrett Wilson for the past 2 seasons, and I was like, this year I'm just not going to do it. If Aaron Rodgers leaves, Devante Adams leaves, I'm just not going to do it. We saw a little bit last year with Garrett Wilson, like the first 5 games of the season, he was going up against like the top 5 cornerbacks in each game, didn't do well. Weeks like 5 through 9, he really blew up. He started to play like a first rounder. Devante Adams came over, and then he lost that. And I'm like, dude, I'm tired of playing games with this. But then they got Justin Fields, and you already mentioned how he was with the Bears. Dude, Justin Fields he hyper targets his main star. DJ Moore that year had 137 targets. The next person was Darnell Mooney, and he only had 60 targets. So just about every throw that he did was going to DJ Moore when he played for the Bears. And I'm like, well, who's the competition for Garrett Wilson over there in the Jets? Mike Williams is gone, right? Well, he left like in the middle of the season. Devante Adams is gone. I think Lazard may be coming back. Maybe. I think he could have gone anywhere else.
I thought he left.
So, I mean, even if he does leave, dude, it's just going to be Garrett Wilson. So I'm just seeing nothing. I think Tyler Conklin's also gone too, right?
I haven't looked deep into tight ends yet like that.
Maybe, yeah. I think he did, but I could be wrong. But, dude, I'm seeing another 140, 150 targets to Garrett Wilson again. And now I'm back to being like intrigued by this. And I'm like, well, if he doesn't go in the first round, if he's going in the third round, I might get him.
Right now, Jason, he's going in the fourth, 40 overall. Would you rather have him or Devante Adams? Just real fast. I'm just
Because they're probably both going to be going in the fourth, huh? Dude, probably Devante Adams. Probably.
It's scary because it's the Jets, and it's like you just like I remember this last year, Jason. I'm like, I'm going with offensive scheme and offensive coordinator over anything next year. I remember saying that because I was discounting Cliff Kingsbury because of the offensive line. I was like, offensive line is king. I think offensive coordinator might be king. So yeah, I think you are correct, but I think it's going to be close, man, between Garrett Wilson as a wide receiver 1 in that offense, and then fucking Devante Adams. We'll talk about him in later on in the show.
Yeah, do you remember DJ Moore finished the year like wide receiver 6 with Justin Fields throwing him the ball?
And that's what everybody's talking about online, dude. They're just like, hey, DJ Moore, man.
Yeah, and the other thing is like
these people have not been talking about how they both went to Ohio State and were amazing together.
Yep.
They need to talk about that more. Maybe we'll hear about that more as the season goes on.
We saw how teammates were with Derek Carr and Devante Adams, right? Now we got Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson.
Right.
The other thing about Fields is, do you know that guy averages like 50 yards of rushing a game? So it's like every time he plays, anytime he starts in a game, he plays in a game, he's already like basically 5 points. And it's like, fuck, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I'm like, if he's going to be anything like he was for the Bears and with like DJ Moore, this guy could be someone that you draft late because it's not sexy, right? He plays for the Jets, but end up being a top 12 quarterback at the end of the year.
Yeah, you just remind me, Jason, of when I had Aaron Rodgers in the championship and I got like fucking 5 points from him. And Brandon Jacobs ran for 4 touchdowns. And I was like, oh my God. Okay. Are you sharing stuff, Jason? Let me look. Oh, hello from Dallas. What's up? It's windy as fuck here and semis are getting flipped. Oh, dude. Hey, that's some real shit. Dude. There's what usually it's on the way. It's like somewhere in Wyoming. No, I can't remember. Usually that's not Dallas. I wonder if there are tornadoes in Dallas. I don't know. But yeah, my wife's from Chicago. I thought Windy City was from the wind. It's from the politicians blowing hot air everywhere. All right, man. Corion, stay safe, dude. Hopefully your roof is better than the one they have in I'm trying to think of a movie that the fucking roof got ripped off, but I can't think about it.
Twister.
All right, dude. Hey, number 7. Woo! Geno Smith to Las Vegas. They traded him for a 3rd-round pick and gave him a bigger contract. I think it was like 30-something million a year. He's going 165th overall, so quarterback 25. Geno Smith is not a starting quarterback on your fantasy team right now. And hey, I just want to. My biggest concern of this whole offseason, Jason, was who's going to be throwing the ball to Brock Bowers. That was my biggest concern. Well, Smith's, his best attribute has been accuracy since he left the fucking Jets. Since he's had a decent coordinator. And dude, he had the 5th highest completion percentage in the NFL last season, 70%. He was also top 12 in accurate ball placement, 5th in catchable throw rate. So yeah, so this is huge, Jason. It's funny because DK Metcalf is always like at 50%, yet Geno Smith is 5th in catchable throw rate. I don't understand it. But the last season, man, with Brock Bowers going off, the Raiders were 6th worst in catchable throw rate. All right, so the quarterbacks for Brock Bowers were fucking the 6th worst in the NFL. And now he gets a top 12. I mean, shit, dude. Top 5 accurate quarterback. He was quarterback 5 in 2022 with Pete Carroll. That was the last healthy, good year he had. So I see this, and the biggest thing to me is, hey, man, Brock Bowers might be worth his draft pick. I will not be drafting him that high. But dude, give me Evan Engram in the fucking 9th or whatever every day over Brock Bowers in the 1st. But yeah, Jason, this is a huge home run for Brock Bowers.
Yeah, I think this is more a Brock Bowers post because Geno Smith is going to be better than a Gardner Minshew or Aiden O'Connell. One thing I do want to add to this, he is back with Pete Carroll. But Geno Smith had one of the highest turnover-worthy plays when pressured last year. So when he gets pressured, he's not very good and turns the ball over a lot. And the Raiders allow 46% pressure rate when blitz, and that's 28th worst.
Woo!
I still think, I mean, you said it. He's not in your starting lineup. This guy is going to probably be, another streamer for 2025.
But the important thing is, though, Jason, like I was like, just like Geno, I was like, yeah, like I said, he's like going as quarterback 25. I would probably put him in like the high teens range, but that's still not a starting quarterback for me. But the big thing here is Brock Bowers. I drafted Brock Bowers last year. It was amazing. But yeah, you're drafting him in the first or second this year. You better fucking hope he hits. And now his odds to hit just went up like tremendously. So I do like that. And then I think that's it for Geno Smith. So really the only people affected by that, because DK Metcalf is gone, Lockett's gone. We'll talk about JSN in a little bit. Is Brock Bowers. So yeah, Brock Bowers home run. So that's very positive there. All right, man. Next up, DK Metcalf to Pittsburgh, a 4-year, $132 million contract, second round draft pick. And I heard Albert Beer talking about this on sports radio. If you would have told me that DK Metcalf and Geno Smith would have netted a second and a third, I would have told you you're fucking nuts. But that's just the way it worked out this year, man. And DK Metcalf, we talked about this, man. Geno Smith is super accurate, yet DK Metcalf's catch rate is like 50% every year. There's so much meat on the bone of that fucking fantasy points there. It is just super frustrating. I have targeted him every year because of the targets he gets. He gets like 11, 12 targets a game, dude. And it just never equals. He's like, he always gets drafted as top 5, and it's like top 15, top 20 production. So I'm afraid. Now he goes to fucking Pittsburgh. So now I'm super scared, man. But how do you feel about DK Metcalf, Jason, to Pittsburgh?
Man, you said it best, dude. Like, on my little show that I do, The Truth is Here, I talked about DK Metcalf, and I'm like, I'm tired of talking about this guy every year. He's going too high, and he's not producing, that worth. And you said it, like, the last 2 years, his catch rate's been like 50, 55% both seasons. And it's like, is that his fault? Is it Geno Smith's fault? Whose is it? Now he's going to Pittsburgh. They don't even know who their quarterback is going to be. So I don't really know how I feel about it. I think I don't like it, and I'm just going to stay away from it. One thing to think about, though, is that last year he was first in deep ball targets, and Russell Wilson, if somehow he does go back to the Steelers, which I don't think is going to happen because he was talking shit about Arthur Smith, Russell Wilson has a great deep ball. That's pretty much it. I think, like, with that combination, he has the potential to be, like, top 15 wide receiver, maybe, if he's hitting on those deep balls, but he's nothing more than a wide receiver, too.
Well, hey, let's talk about how good this is right now, because I'm gonna spin it positive, because I don't like DK Metcalf to Pittsburgh. I just kind of said that, but where he's going, dude, 55th overall. So what, like 5th round, 6th round, something like that. But wide receiver 26, you're drafting him as a flex, pretty much. Pickens going 66 overall, wide receiver 29. I want nothing to do with fucking Pickens. I don't give a fuck about Pickens, whatever, dude. But right now, when you look at what Arthur Smith was saying and some other people were saying, they were drawing comparisons from A.J. Brown to DK Metcalf, very comparable players, whereas they're not known for their route running. It's just physical, long touchdowns, pretty much. A.J. Brown in Tennessee, dude. He had two with Arthur Smith, 2 years, 86 targets, 106 targets. So, I mean, you're averaging like 95 targets there. That's amazing. 1,000+ yards each year. And then talk about the touchdowns, 8 touchdowns and 11 touchdowns. That was in Tennessee on a shitty team, dude. Whatever. I mean, I know they actually did pretty well in the playoffs. But DK Metcalf, I mean, the Pittsburgh makes the playoffs every year, and now they have DK Metcalf. So where he is going, I might be drafting DK Metcalf. If he was being sold to me as a fucking top wide receiver because he's getting paid as such, I would be like, dude, he's the best of the year. But right now, where he's going, Jason, wide receiver 3, I am totally fine with that, and I might be searching for that in the draft.
I think I just misunderstood you. Who's wide receiver 3?
He's going as a wide receiver 3 right now. Wide receiver 26 overall.
So like a flex.
Yeah, like if I had like 2 wide receivers and then DK Metcalf, I'd be like, hey, dude, pretty damn. Now, Corian, he could be the wide receiver number 1 for you after you draft 10 fucking running backs.
Yeah, I'm still gonna have to wait to see who's the quarterback before I'm gonna still want to get him in the 5th round.
Well, so far, worst case scenario, Jason, is Russell Wilson. So
right,
that is their fallback plan.
If that's the case, then yeah, I
no, that's what I'm saying. Like they're waiting for Aaron Rodgers because he's on the goddamn beach, fucking taking pictures and shit, waiting for the Minnesota Vikings to throw away their future for Aaron Rodgers. Please, God, Vikings, just bring back Nick Mullins for all I care. Do not fucking sign Aaron Rodgers. I don't need to deal with this shit. I need some hipster in Minnesota. All right, Jason. Moving forward. Next up, number 5, biggest offseason move, Sam Darnold to Seattle. 3 years, $100 million. I just spoke about Aaron Rodgers going to the Vikings. Hey, man, I talk about Nick Mullins because he averaged 19 fucking fantasy points per game over like a month. And then Sam Darnold comes in, and I was like, hey, draft him because he's going to be averaging like 19 points a game. That fool was quarterback 9 through 17 weeks. And he was plus 3.2%, Jason, in pass attempts or above expectation, or pass attempts and completion over expectation. That was the 6th highest. So if you're looking for regression and performing over what you're supposed to do and having amazing wide receivers, holy shit. Let's just look at Sam Darnold. I've got a lot of stats on him, but I'll see what you have to say first.
Yeah, I'm not
real
a
quick
fan.
Though, Jason, real quick. I do want to say he's going quarterback 141 overall as quarterback 22. So he is not even being seen as a starter. But again, how do you feel? But sorry. So like just to frame our negativity, I want to say he's not even being drafted as a starter right now.
Yeah, I'm not even a fan of this at all. When I saw that happen, I'm like, dude, he just did this for the money. I don't know what Seattle's plans are, but
I don't blame him.
Seattle's been such a trip this offseason, but yeah, so they went and got like Sam Darnold, and Sam Darnold did great in a system that Nate Mullins did great. So I'm thinking this is a Vikings system that he's doing well in, right? So then he goes to Seattle, who is going to be under a new offensive coordinator. They got rid of their old offensive coordinator, Ryan Grubb, because he passed the ball too much. So they want to run the shit out of the ball. So they bring in Clint Kubiak, he ran the ball 7% more at New Orleans than what Seattle did last year, if I'm doing that math right. But so anyway, they're going to run the ball. So he's going to have less opportunities, less attempts. And then we saw what happened to Sam Darnold when the Vikings offensive line was getting tossed around. They had a good offensive line, but there were some games like handling the blitz was hard for the Minnesota Vikings. We saw Sam Darnold get sacked a bunch the last 2 games.
Yep.
Well, he's going to be now behind the 30th ranked offensive line. Woo! Who allowed, they were 30th in pressure rate and 24th in sack rate. So they also don't have Tyler Lockett, like you said. They don't have DK Metcalf. They had
tight end, fucking.
I thought this was great.
Noah Fant or some shit.
Yeah. So I thought but JSN was going to do well because he was the only guy in there. But they bring in Cooper Kupp. That kind of mixes things a lot. I don't know how I feel about Cooper Kupp yet in this, but I don't feel like he's going to get a lot of opportunities. And then Tyler, this dude was playing in a dome last year. Now he's going to be playing in the rain. I don't like this for fantasy purposes. I think he's going to be mainly a streamer this year. I'd be surprised if he gets drafted even on a bench and does well. I don't know.
So I was looking at the pass block win rate. Seattle was 21st, Jason, last year. Minnesota was second best. And then even with that second best pass block win rate, he still held onto the ball a lot. I watched it. 4th most sacked quarterback last year. Dude, he's going to get fucking sacked so much. He's going to be top 2, top 3 this year. Seattle, and then also, they ran the ball the 5th fewest. So they threw the ball the 5th highest rate, dude.
Yep.
They only ran the ball 37% of the time.
61%.
Yeah, so and then Kubiak, 13th highest rush rate at 44%. So again, you said it. They're going to run the ball a lot more. And then but I do want to say, I'm very interested to see what Seattle does in the draft, Jason. They've got the 18th pick in round 1. They've got 2 second-round picks. They've got 2 third-round picks, and then 5 day 3 picks. So, oh my God, dude! Like in the top 5 rounds, they've got a fucking ton of picks. So they could turn this shit around, and they've been hitting they have been hitting on their young draft picks. So I'm not going to put it past them to take away a lot of my concerns on the offensive line. But again, dude, they're going to be running the ball a lot more. Their offensive line is a lot worse than the Vikings. They don't have the fucking weapons the Vikings have. There's no way in hell Sam Darnold does not regress from last season. There's no way. So but at least you're getting him at a value. But just do not take that gamble. That's pretty much what we're telling you.
Yeah, it's not going to be worth it.
And I do want to say that Clint Kubiak, Jason, produced 2 top 15 wide receivers. That was Ayuk and Debo in 2023, and now he's got Kupp and JSN. So that is encouraging.
Yeah, I guess. Still completely different teams, different offensive line, different quarterback, different system. Yeah. Actually, isn't that kind of like the same system that he just came from when he was a 49er? Right? Isn't that what Kevin O'Connell kind of runs?
Yeah. Well, hey, dude. Let's get into Corion's 3rd-round draft pick coming in next season, all right?
Najee Harris.
Najee Harris to the Chargers, 1 year, $5.2 million. But I think he got like a $3 million signing bonus, some other shit. It's really like a $9 million, dude, per year. So $9 million invested in Najee Harris. J.K. Dobbins free agent. Gus Edwards released. The Chargers, Jason, 10th in rushing percentage last year at 45%. They want to run the ball, especially around the fucking red zone or inside the 5 and everything, where Najee Harris is great. And all I've been seeing, dude, is like, hey, Najee Harris stats line up great with what the Chargers want to do, blah, 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 blah. I think it's a great fit. He's going 62nd right now overall. That's super late, like in the 5th round. Running back 23 overall right now. That's going to be going up and up and up. But if you're doing best ball right now, like Najee Harris is a main target.
Yeah, this is we've talked about it for the last couple of seasons. His running metrics are not great. But first thing I want to say is that the offensive line for the Chargers, they were 27th in rushing yards before contact, which isn't good, but they were 13th in run block win rate, which that kind of is telling me that it's the running back's fault, really, because there are lanes, but they were just hitting it.
They had Gus Edwards, dude, and fucking J.K.
They have Gus Edwards, and I'm also thinking like maybe J.K. Dobbins, like for how well he did, he still left some points on the field, maybe.
Yeah.
But hey, Dobbins and Gus are gone, and like I said, while Harris isn't the most impressive back on the show, he is durable. I don't think he's missed a game. If anything, he's missed one game in his career. And Tyler, surprisingly, last year, his best stat is that he was 8th in forced missed tackles per attempt.
I remember seeing like halfway through the season, I was like, oh my God, dude, he's like up there in forced missed. That doesn't make any sense.
Right.
But hey.
Well, every year he's been a 1,000-yard rusher. His touchdowns have regressed, so he went like 10, 10, 8, 6. But I'm thinking if this guy could just get 1,000 yards, I'm sure he's going to get over 10 touchdowns in this offense for next year.
Oh, yeah. 10 touchdowns. I would take that bet every day.
Yep.
And then I also want to speak about Jaylen Warren, Jason, because this does affect him as well. In weeks 10 through 18, among 45 qualified running backs, he ranked 20th in missed tackles forced per attempt and 3rd in yards after contact per attempt. So if you combine the two, those are 2 amazing stats. We love missed forced tackles per attempt. If you're in the top 12, I'm like, fucking holy shit. But if you combine the two, that's eye-popping as well. And now he gets Arthur Smith. If they get Aaron Rodgers in there, shit will be very interesting. DK Metcalf takes some pressure off. So if it comes down to it, I think I might be drafting Jaylen Warren over Najee Harris next season.
You would get Warren over Harris?
No, not before, but like I'm going to be targeting because Najee Harris is going to be going like, I bet you by the time the goddamn season starts, Jason, he's going to be going in the 3rd or 4th round. And then Jaylen Warren is going to be the dead zone running back, 5th, 6th round. And I'd rather have Jaylen Warren in the 5th or 6th.
Yeah. And then I'll be a day late and a buck short on him being my MVP for 2000.
I know, dude. And that's what happens. Every time we pick an MVP, just bet on them a year later and you'll be successful.
Yeah, let's keep like an eye on that because I'm pretty sure the Steelers are also going to get one of ththese amazing running backs from the draft. But I think either way, he's at least going to start the season as the starter.
Dude, hey. I just, like you said, Olaf, like, dude, Best Buy is because best ball, you always play best ball as early as you can in the season because that's when you can take advantage of these fucking crazy rankings. Like right now, Najee Harris is not ranked correctly at all.
Tyler, we got you Green in here, and he says he saw a report that Rodgers is waiting on the Vikings. Like that's
Yeah,
the team.
no, fuck that, dude. Go back, dude. Just put JJ McCarthy in there. I know we're built to win now, but just put JJ McCarthy in there. We even got another offensive lineman and another defensive lineman. So just protect JJ McCarthy, put him in there. I do not want Aaron Rodgers at all. All right. Now, do I think if we had Aaron Rodgers, we might win a Super Bowl? Yeah, maybe.
You won him then.
We were close last year, man. And
you
so,
won him then, right?
What'd you say?
You say, would you get close to winning the Super Bowl? So I'm saying you would want him. Then,
I don't want to deal with the headache, dude. It's like, hey, Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb signed with the Vikings, man. Hey, well, who else we got? Who else?
Jordy Nelson, you coming out of retirement, dude. I need
signed in as an offensive. Yeah, dude. I just don't want to deal with the headache, but for 1 year, we would have a better chance to win a Super Bowl. But long term, dude, just put JJ McCarthy in there. I'd rather deal with one fucking bad year and just move forward with them. But yeah, all I've been hearing about is Aaron Rodgers signing with the goddamn Vikings, man. And I don't like it.
He's really trying to follow Brett Favre's steps, huh?
He doesn't even talk about it, dude. Oh, my God. Fucking.
So that means what? After he leaves the Vikings, he's got to commit fraud to finish that cycle of Brett Favre. Maybe send some dirty pictures to some cheerleaders. Isn't that what Brett Favre did too?
Yeah. He sent dick pics, yeah.
Yeah. That dude is crazy, dude. He's crazy, man.
I don't like Brett Favre at all, dude. He stole fucking from poor people to build a goddamn volleyball.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, dude, fuck Brett Favre.
The opposite of Robin Hood.
I wish Russell Crowe's Robin Hood would have been good. God damn it. All right, Laremy Tunsil, Jason, number 3. As far as our big offensive moves or off-season moves. And Jaden Daniels, man, is going as quarterback 3 right now. He's going 33rd overall. He's going round 3. You have to pick Jaden Daniels if you want him. So, we just saw C.J. Stroud take a huge step back. Now, C.J. Stroud does not run the ball like Jaden Daniels, but if you're investing a high draft pick in a quarterback, holy shit, you better hit it, dude. So, this is huge, Jason. Laremy Tunsil. He had the 10th highest pass block win rate last year at 93%. So, he was amazing at pass block win rate. I know he had a lot of holding penalties or false starts, but still, dude. If you ask CJ Stroud who he needs on his team, it was fucking Laremy Tunsil, dude. I watched that in the offseason last year, dude, where he was talking about it. Washington, the 2nd highest run block win rate last year and the 9th highest pass block win rate. So they had I had a huge concerns about Washington's offensive line. They were top 10 in both categories. I mean, shit, dude, top 2 in run block win rate. Now they went and got fucking Laremy Tunsil. So strength on strength. Holy shit. Jaden Daniels still, though, Jason, the 6th most sacked quarterback yet last year at 47. So Jaden Daniels should, I did not want him in round 3. Maybe round 5, I'd think about it. But now that he has Laremy Tunsil, if you want to go out and get Jaden Daniels, I will not make fun of you.
Yeah, this really does nothing for me because they already had a great offensive line from last year. I guess stability, a bigger.
I really, really, really like Laremy Tunsil
No, I mean I like him too. Do they really need him? But not really. But I mean,
dude, that's what I'm saying. They didn't even fucking need him.
Right.
So push everybody to the right. I'm just saying, man. Their offensive line is going to be a lot better because of just putting the number 1 in there.
But
I mean it's Steph Curry and all this Jimmy Butler shit. It's like, dude,
how much better can they get though? I understand. I get it. I would do it too. It's just I feel like this is more of let's go ahead and hate on the Texans for doing a dumbass trade like that. CJ Stroud's probably like, what the fuck?
I'm about to hate on the Texans here in a second, Jason.
So it's one of those things where it's I mean, I would do it too, because better, you just always want to improve. They were already good. Now they're going to be, they're going to go into the next tier, I guess. Jaden Daniels, he was 3rd or he was 7th in the league for time to throw. And I think this just adds to him being able to hold the ball even longer.
He was 7th in the league in time to throw, huh?
Yeah, and I think now with him, because they're getting that upgrade, he's probably just going to be in the top 5 next year.
That's crazy. In 6th most sacks, but you got to think about all the stuff. He was a rookie stepping into some shit.
He scrambles too, so.
I know, that's what I'm thinking too. Scrambling quarterbacks always take more sacks.
See, that's also the thing too, because of how much time the offensive line had to hold because of him. When you give up, I mean, not really give up, but like you can only hold it for so long, and then that turns into sacks. The Redskins, the Commanders
So
actually had like a 34% pressure rate, which is kind of crazy. So that's also got happen for holding on the ball too long. So maybe I can help. Tunsil got help with that too.
And then real quick, dude, talking about Houston real fast. They also let go of. They traded guard Kenyon Green to Philadelphia for what C.J. Gardner or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
He was a first-round draft pick by fucking Houston. So C.J. Stroud's like, what the? He's like, come on, man, John Travolta and whatever that meme is. And then Houston was 31st in run block win rate, 22nd in pass block win rate last year. And then they were like, hey, dude, let's get rid of our best offensive lineman. So, dude, Joe Mixon, man, was running back 27 weeks 12 on last year, 10 points per game. I know he was injured, but that the offensive line was so bad when he got back. I mean, they were decent in the beginning, dude. I'm just saying, this affects. I'm not touching C.J. Stroud. I already didn't like C.J. Stroud. I'm not fucking touching him again. I'm thinking about. I'm going to downgrade Joe Mixon, Jason.
Yeah, he started off strong but ended bad. Could that also been a Slowick? No, dude. He's part of the reason why Slowick got fired because he kept giving him the ball so much.
I know. Well,
second
Slowick lead running the ball, but his fucking team is. But his team was 31st in run block win rate.
Yeah, that's horrible. Yeah, I'm not.
Stroud was quarterback 10 in 2023. He fell down to quarterback 18 in 2024. Second most sacked quarterback this last year at 52. But when he was better, Jason, he only got sacked 38 times. So if you keep Stroud upright, it should equal more fantasy success. And they just got rid of Laremy Tunsil. So I'm fading. I mean, how do you feel about Nico Collins? Second round, he'd have to literally go in the second round for me to draft him next year.
Honestly, dude. Honestly, bro. I don't think I'm going to even worry about Nico Collins, and I'm just going to try to get Christian Kirk late.
Wow. That's a take.
I know. We saw what Diggs did in the slot last year, and Kirk is younger. And I think Kirk is a good player if he could stay healthy. When you got to get the ball out fast because you're on your fucking ass the whole time, easy PPR points, I think I would rather do that because you need time for Nico Collins to run those deep routes.
All right, dog. Hey, we're getting to our top two. I know
Tyler,
you got a lot of stats. What's up?
You Green got a question directly towards Big Turd. Knowing what you know as a Vikings fan, do you wish you didn't draft JJ?
I remember thinking I was pissed off they got JJ McCarthy and not somebody else. But now that I know about the quarterback class of this year and how good the Vikings are in general, as far as roster goes, I am actually super happy they have because I hated that draft pick last year, Jason.
You wanted Penix.
I wanted Michael Penix. Had they fucking drafted Michael Penix like I fucking said, I'd been all about it because I believed in them drafting a quarterback. But I hated J. McCarthy. But Kevin O'Connell, man, the shit I'm reading about what Kevin O'Connell says about J.J. McCarthy, I'm like, you know what, dude? How can you not trust Kevin McConnell right now? He's literally the quarterback whisperer of the NFL.
Yeah.
So until I see J.J. McCarthy go down in flames, I'm totally okay with it because I was all about Penix Jr., and he actually didn't do as well as I thought he was going to do last year. So, yeah, I'm totally cool with it because last year was the year to do it, and they're fucking spending on free agency right now like they should on the line because I think I wanted them to get Joe Wall or something last year, Jason. I can't remember. It was Michael Penix or Joe Wall I wanted. So, yeah. But, hey, dude, I'm going to piss my pants real fast, so let me go over this because I know you have stats on this.
Okay.
The second biggest move for dude, off-season moves, especially for fantasy, I pushed Caleb Williams last year. The Bears offensive line, Drew Dahlman from the center from the Saints, Joe Tooney, goddamn, he's going to go back to guard, and Jonah Jackson. So the interior of this offensive line that goddamn Caleb Williams was stepping into last year is all replaced. Caleb Williams was sacked, dude, the most in the NFL, 68 times. The second most was Stroud, dude, at 52. So we're looking at like a 25% increase or more. So the worst offensive line by far, Jason, and the most sacked quarterback by far, Caleb Williams. They spent the money.
Yeah, so Caleb Williams was actually sixth in time to throw for quarterbacks who played over 12 games last year. And the O-line was asked to protect the fourth longest time in the league. So, that's a long time that you're trying to stop, those yoked-ass defensive linemen trying to get after your quarterback. It's a long time. It's a long 3 seconds. The offensive line was asked, blah, blah, already said that, which led to a 10% sack rate, which led to 68 sacks allowed, and that was most in the league, and of a pressure rate of 34.4%. I want to say the pressure rate because Williams, he was 33rd overall in pressure completion percentage. So when he was under pressure, he did not do well. 33%. So that's all the starting quarterback and a backup that did better than him. So yeah, Tyler, you said, when they got the Bears, they traded for him. Mr. JoJo, he was the seventh highest grade for guards on PFF, and he allowed just a 4.4% pressure rate last season, which ranks third lowest. They also got the center Drew Dahlman. He allowed the fifth lowest one-on-one pressure rate among centers at 4%. And they also went out and got another guard, Jonah Jackson, who I'm not sure if he's going to be the starter or not. But before his injury last season, he had a 94.7 pass block win rate, which is excellent. So
holy shit, that's better than 93% for whoever I was speaking about earlier was 10th best.
Yeah. So
Laremy Tunsil, that's better than Laremy Tunsil.
So we are talking about an improved offensive line even before the draft starts. You got the genius head coach and Ben Johnson. I don't want to say it, Tyler. I'm scared. I'm scared and I'm afraid.
Who would you rather have, dude? Caleb Williams or Sam Darnold?
Caleb Williams.
Who would you rather have, Caleb Williams or Geno Smith?
Probably Caleb Williams.
Yeah. So I'm not. I'm back. I do this every other year, Jason, where I'm like, I'm waiting on a quarterback. I'm getting a quarterback early, motherfucker. I didn't have a quarterback last year. So I'll probably be trying to get, a top 4 quarterback early. If I don't get Joe Burrow or higher, I'm going to not draft a quarterback until late. But yeah, dude, like maybe Matthew Stafford, maybe Caleb Williams. Something like that later might be the right move.
Tyler, have you ever seen the movie Burt Reynolds and the movie Semi Tough, 1997?
Well, when you say semi, I was like, dude, I watch Smokey and the Bandit once a fucking year. But Semi Tough. Ooh, let's see, with Burt Reynolds.
Yeah,
it's a 1977 film.
Yeah.
Oh God, no, I have not watched that.
Oh, that sounds like it's good. Olaf was wondering.
I gotta watch it, dude.
He said because Minshew he went to Kansas City and he said he's like Burt Reynolds in the movie.
He looks just like Burt Reynolds on the goddamn cover.
Yeah.
I watched The Longest Yard. Hey, Burt Reynolds in that too.
Oh hey, if we're gonna talk about Brett Favre and the picture taken, we need to talk about the other side too, the people who received the picture, right? Corian, he said in Brett Favre's defense, that chick was hot as fuck.
Dude, hey, I'm not blaming anybody around here. If I was some 40-year-old jacked up on testosterone. Like, hey.
We kid.
Hey, man. Hey. I don't blame you, Corey. I hear you. All right, hey, number 1, Jason. Number 1 offseason move, because I'm going to be targeting this guy. I'm pretty sure. You know what? But we just gave out one example of maybe somebody that we'd want over him. I got to remember this. Remind me. Devante Adams to the Rams, man. 2 years, $46 million. So 23 a year? I mean, that's not chump change. It's a pretty good investment. And they got rid of Cooper Kupp to do it. 32 years old. Cooper Kupp is 31 years old. So they spent more money and targeted a wide receiver that's even younger, that's even older than Cooper Kupp. Weeks 7 through 18, Jason, among 120 wide receivers with a minimum of 100 routes run, he ranked 27th in separation score and 34th in route win rate. After week 11, that went up to 16th best route win rate and 15th best win rate overall. So, hey, man, he was a top 15 wide receiver when you go into deep analytics. And, dude, Devante, in this team, I think it was Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua had like 60% of all targets between everybody on the Rams last year. So they like to run as far as pass receiving or whatever through 2 people pretty much. Man, and then Puka Nacua, what, man? Oh, you know what? I'm going to hear about you first, and then I'll hit you with some Puka Nacua stats and what I think is going to happen to him.
Yeah, this is a very entertaining pickup for Devante Adams. I like this trade. You know, I really do. Matthew Stafford last year, he was 7th in completion percentage when he had a clean pocket. That's great. That's great for Devante Adams to get those accurate throws. He is going to be 32 next year, which is another year older. Cooper Kupp, or he is older than believe it or not, he's older than Cooper Kupp. But he's managed to stay healthy while Cooper Kupp has not. So, but the thing I really like about this, like, for one, Devante Adams, like, he has, like, slowed down a bit, but his route running skills is still elite. And that's what this really comes down to, is that he's going to possibly be running the Cooper Kupp routes. And normally when people are like, oh, he's hurt, like, let's just say, Cooper Kupp's hurt. You got Jordan Whittingworth going to be running his routes. I'm like, dude, who gives a shit about this guy running his routes? Yeah, he could be trying to run the same routes, but is he going to run them as well as Cooper Kupp? Hell no.
And who they pay, Jason? They paid Tutu Atwell. He's an outside receiver.
Yeah. Cooper Kupp is an elite route runner. You know who else has been an elite route runner in the past decade? Devante Adams. So when you have somebody like Devante Adams running the routes like Cooper Kupp, now that I like. And we've seen what happens when Matthew Stafford is able to get time and just throw an accurate ball to somebody like Devante Adams, who, in the slot, what do I say? Easy PPR points. So I like this. And he's going in the 4th round, you said, Tyler? That's exactly where Cooper Kupp was going last year in the draft.
Yeah, so like Puka's going 8th overall, right? Devante Adams right now going 38th, which is wide receiver 17. That is the beginning of the 4th round. So if you want Devante Adams right now, late 3rd, early 4th, and so who would you rather have? Would you rather spend a top 10 draft pick on Puka, or would you rather roll the dice, probably get a wide receiver 2, maybe a wide receiver 1 in the 3rd, 4th round?
That's a good question, Tyler. You got a lot of good questions tonight. I appreciate it. Sorry,
you're just wasting time, dude, while you fucking think.
So my whole thing is, like, when Cooper Kupp is going to be told to be released, I was like, this is great because Puka Nacua can finally get more than 6 touchdowns in a season, right? So I was like, this is the guy that I'm going to actually bump him up in my rankings.
Yeah.
Then they went and got Devante Adams, and I'm like, well, Puka Nacua is probably going to end up with only 5 or 6 touchdowns again in the season.
They talk about the red zone targets, and the main thing, man, that the internet's talking about is the red zone targets for Devante Adams relative to Puka Nacua. So that's a good call, Jason.
And the thing is, though, if I got a late round pick and I'm like, at the 10th spot and the best available is Puka Nacua, I would get Puka Nacua. I will get Puka Nacua.
Dude. All right. So I was like, man, I don't know. I think I would get Devante Adams. I'm going to target Devante Adams. But me right now, I'm not going to be able to get Puka Nacua because I've got a fucking top whatever 1st round draft pick. I'm going to get a running back, hopefully. So I'm not that's not in my cards. But Devante Adams, man, I still think is going to be a huge value. I think he should probably be going in the 2nd round. And you're going to be able to get him in the late 3rd, 4th.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and what does that say about Matthew Stafford, man? That means that Matthew Stafford should be a value as well. It's like having both Puka and a healthy Cooper Kupp on the same team, and when that's happening, man, Matthew Stafford's like a top 7 quarterback. So I like Matthew Stafford, and then, but yeah, Puka Nacua, dude, wide receiver 2, averaging 19.2 fantasy points per game, weeks 8 through 17, playing alongside Cooper Kupp. That's when Cooper Kupp was there, dude. Now Kupp was wide receiver 19 during that stretch, averaging 13.5 points per game. He was still doing terrible. He had like a game of 0 points and shit like that.
First
but
round
still,
of
dude.
playoffs.
Wide receiver 19. He was still a wide receiver 2 for your team. And what were we talking about Devante Adams, man? So maybe worst case scenario, Devante Adams is wide receiver 19? Holy shit. And he's being taken as fucking what, dude? Wide receiver 17? Oh, yeah. Well, no. Yeah, wide receiver 17. So to me, I'm just looking at Devante Adams as a big value. You're drafting him as like an injured Cooper Kupp right now.
Yeah. I think this is going to be huge for fantasy. I thought last year Cooper Kupp staying healthy, that he was going to be a great value pick. I actually had a bold prediction that he was going to have more touchdowns, or was it touchdowns or fantasy points than Puka Nacua? But the injuries and all that. Devante Adams. That's probably going to be my bold prediction again. I think Devante Adams could definitely end the year with more touchdowns than Puka Nakua.
All right, guys. It's almost time for us to play Apex. Jason? Well, who knows? I got to see what my wife's doing. Oh! You think you're cool? You think you're cool, dog? Look at this. I'm going to inspect my gun. Woo! Did you go pick that up after I showed you mine?
Yeah. I was like, he's probably going to show his on camera. I gotta have my GAT ready.
Is that from Halo? Is that the 2-tap? Is that the 3-tap?
This is the original Halo pistol. Pew, pew, pew.
Damn, dog. Hey, if you're old enough, you remember playing Halo 1 online. Holy shit. Good luck with that.
Good times.
Now you get one-shotted by snipers across the goddamn map.
Yep.
People keep on talking about, what is that, Marvel, whatever that is, Heroes.
Yeah.
Or can't remember what game that is, but I think you and
Jamie's here.
Jamie. Hey, man, if we could get 12 people, we would have a Dynasty League, and you are, goddamn it, your name is etched in stone, man. But we need to get 12 people that are willing to suck their life away with us and do Dynasty.
Yeah, for the rest of their lives. Blood oath. Blood.
I'm going to drink your blood out of a boot. I'm watching Jack Reacher, Tom Cruise right now. It's actually a pretty good movie. All right, hey, this is a Fantasy Red Zone. This was, the top 10 offseason moves. We had news and brews. We're coming out with something new later, man. Fantasy news is rolling now. Pretty soon the draft is going to be coming. Holy shit. We're going to be doing mock drafts pretty soon, for God's sakes, man. So, hey, Jason, please send us out. Hey, please give us, hopefully we earned a thumbs up. Hopefully we earned a subscription, man. We need to get to 2,000, and we're never going to get to 2,000. Jason, please send us out.
We're almost there. We got some videos coming out. Tyler, is the mock drafts ready, or do we got to wait a little bit longer?
I checked yesterday because it was my birthday, and no, it was still not available. Because I remember by my birthday, usually you can do a mock draft, but no, not this year.
Okay. Well, coming soon, the mock drafts, they start up.
Sign it in blood.
Sign it in blood. Yeah, we'll be back here next Friday at 6 o'clock Pacific time.
Thanks, Jason.
Come have a brewski with us. I'll talk to you in that video. Deuces.
This is a Fantasy Red Zone. We appreciate you. Hang up, Jason. Hang it up. Yeah, hang that shit up. That was a good show, huh?
That was pretty good.
Had a lot of people talking.